Week one, it's Decorah and Walk On from Walk On Friday night, chatting here with Indian coach Chad Beermann. And coach, you've been at practice a couple weeks now. What's made you the most happy about the guys to this point?
Oh, we've been able to throw together some decent practices. Tonight it was hot. We were able to get out and deal with that a little bit. But kids are practicing well. I would say, we kind of have a broad spectrum, particularly on the offensive and defensive lines. We're getting close to kickoff, and I'm still not exactly sure who's going to be starting up front. So it'll be an interesting group to work with in the season.
And when you have a situation like that, is there a way that you can potentially turn that into a positive and create some depth that perhaps you might not have known you had?
I would say we can, because when the kids are competing, they know that they got a shot at getting a spot, and we've got a lot of kids that are kind of in that mix right now, and so it'll give us some depth. Kids can get in on the field and give us some good time in game action, but it also makes for more competitive practice.
And obviously, as you very well know, having a good off season gives you an opportunity to have a good regular season. How was your off season? How ready were the guys when you started practice a couple weeks back?
I'd say mixed. I mean, we had some kids we were really counting on that really hit it hard, got in the weight, did track, had all the summer stuff we did, and some kids didn't. And hopefully the kids that separate. We do have to count on some kids that didn't really put in the time, but that's kind of the way it goes. You got to take what you got. So.
And so far, when you get ready for a week one opponent, obviously you're pretty familiar with Decorah, and Decorah is pretty familiar with you. But how much of this week is just focusing on seeing what you have and what you need to do to get better, and how much of it is focusing on the specific opponent?
Well, this is a little bit different because it's another new. This is actually the third Decorah head coach I've faced since I've been at Walk On.
Well,
So I'm sure some things will be different. So we don't know exactly. We know kind of the personnel. We're pretty sure the defense will be similar to what they're as the defensive coordinator. But as far as what we're going to see offensively, will it be the same, similar? What are we going to see there? We don't have any film obviously to look at, so that'll be new as far as. So we have to be really general defensively as far as prepare for it, and then offensively again, we've seen their defense for several years now, and unless there's he's going to pull a surprise, we kind of have a good idea what we see. It's just the kids always do well. So
you faced three Decorah coaches. Is that a sign you're becoming a KG veteran there, Coach?
Well, yes, actually it is.
And how important is it from a program perspective to keep this good rivalry going with Decorah?
Well, I think it's a good test for us. I mean, when Crestwood is not in our district, we try to match up with them, and sort of kind of measuring stick in Decorah, and the three Northeast Iowa Conference schools up there in the corner. I think we all like to see each other, whether it's in district or non-district, to keep that alive.
And I know you don't know a lot specifically on what's going to happen from a schematic standpoint, but what are you expecting from Decorah this Friday night?
Well, offensively, I mean, they're always going to come at you. Their offensive line, they're usually run heavy, and you'd expect a defensive head coach would be run heavy because that's a good way to protect the defense. I'm sure they'll throw some play action passes. The last several years they've started mixing into the RPOs. So I'm sure that stuff we'll see, and then you've got 4A athletes doing it, and then on defense, they do a good job usually. A lot of mixing man-to-man coverages around and bringing some blitzes, and I'm sure we'll see a nice rotation of defensive line, which is something he's done. So I mean that's what we're expecting, and I'm fairly confident we'll see.
All right, Coach, ought to be a dandy of a ball game Friday night to get the 2024 season underway. Keep your kids healthy. We wish you best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Chad Beermann, head coach of the Walk On Indians, Walk On in Decorah in week number one.